So, willkommen zum nächsten Vortrag für heute. Ich habe hier bei mir heute die Faye. Faye ist bei uns zuständig fürs Community Management und hat wirklich, seitdem sie da ist, eine ganze Menge Dinge auf die Beine gestellt und wird heute ein bisschen erzählen, was sie gemacht hat, was läuft und was in Zukunft noch geplant ist.
So thank you, Matthias. So hello, everyone. First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone. It was not difficult for you guys to adjust to a virtual conference, and thank you so much for cooperating with us with all the changes that we had to go through. We're so happy that there are around 240 people who are tuning with us today. Thank you so much for being active on Slack and all our channels. And of course, thank you so much for our team who are all behind this. It was not easy, but then I hope, just give them a love bomb on Slack or on the chat room. Just give some heart sign, so that just to show that all this hard work had paid off. So we're gonna talk about the Checkmk community, and I'm pretty new here and at Tribe 99. So this is my first Checkmk conference, and it's pretty unfortunate that I didn't get to meet you all physically this year. I was very much looking forward to it. But yeah, we're so active on Slack, so I think we're gonna see each other there, and of course on the Checkmk Forum. So because I'm new here, so I would like to introduce myself first. So I'm Faye. I am the community manager for Checkmk. So it's my first time for the conference, and my background in community management came from being a volunteer community leader at Mozilla, the makers of Firefox. So if you are active in the Mozilla community, we might have seen each other before. So part of what I did before was also organizing events. So that was, of course, pre-corona, when there were a lot of events going on. And now we're trying to do these things as well in the Checkmk community. So in this session, I'm just gonna walk you through what we have done so far, what we have learned and discovered, and then what we are planning next. So the Checkmk community is pretty interesting for me. So what fascinated me about this community is that usually in the software industry, user communities are pretty common, but it's pretty rare that a product will come up from community members crossing paths and collaborating together. And that's what basically happened with Checkmk. So it was like when Lawrence and Matthias met years ago in an open source monitoring conference, in a community event. They were passionate about open source. They were passionate about building things, collaborating. And when they met, that's how Checkmk was born. So I think that's a pretty fascinating fact about the Checkmk community. So it has been there for a long time. Our community has been the foundation of Checkmk. But unfortunately, we have grown pretty quickly that we had to, unfortunately, lack capacity to support the community and to scale it further. So in the past years, you might have noticed that there were not much going on because we focused on building a great product for our users. We focused on building the product around it. And unfortunately, we didn't have the capacity to take care of our community. But then times have changed, so we have finally reached this point where we have plans for the community. We have the capacity to take care of you guys. So now here we are. We have some plans in trying out how we reactivated the community. So these are the things that we have tried last year. So for about 8 months, these are the things we have tried. So there are 3 things that we have tried out. So first, in reactivating the community, we have published Checkmk on GitHub. So finally, the source code is now on GitHub. And on top of that, we have also added Travis CI, which gives the contributors immediate feedback for quick testing. And when they submit a PR, they will get immediate feedback on their submission. So there will not be this annoying part where they have to wait only to find out that they have made a silly syntax mistake. And then we have also set up the contributing guidelines. So this gives some transparency on how we do things, how we do open source on Checkmk and Checkmk on GitHub. So this gives some guidelines for both the community members and the Tribe 29 members and how we do open source here. So these are our ways on how we become more transparent to the community in terms of the Checkmk product on GitHub. So how is it going so far? So far we had 98 forks and 180 stars, and these are the counts from non-Tribe 29 members. So I think it's good that people are forking our project. That means they're interested in contributing, even a small bug or a big idea for the project, and people are giving stars. That means that they are bookmarking it and they think that it's good. And if you haven't done so, please star our GitHub project so that this numbers would go up. Now, the second thing in our plan to reactivate the community that we have tried out is a lot of people here in the conference might be familiar with this move. So we moved the mailing list to the forum. So now we have migrated the mailing list to the Checkmk Forum, which runs on Discourse, an open source discussion platform. So we think that improving our communications is another big step that we have to take in order to see how we can scale and how we can grow and support our community members. So with this feature, we're just not sending messages. So there are lots of customizations available, and there are also ways to recognize the community members, say thanks to them, and for community members to interact with each other as well. And speaking of the forum, actually, so have you guys signed up? So please let us know in the chat box if you have signed up. So maybe drop your username there if you're comfortable in sharing them. So, and if you haven't done yet, so it's not a problem. You can just visit forum.checkmk.com and sign up quickly. But then if you have, we have seen each other there for a while now, and I'm very thankful for all the activity that's going there in the forum. You guys rock. You're the best. Okay, moving on. How is the Checkmk Forum doing? So in the 5 months that it has been there, we have over 900 signups, and there are almost 2,000 topics created, almost 6,000 posts, and around 15 to 29% daily active users. So it's pretty fascinating to me, like how active you guys are in the forum. And in fact, I have noticed that even today during the conference, I've seen people who are in the conference are also still helping out in the forum. So I think that's very great of you guys. So next, we have the Checkmk Exchange. So in the Checkmk Exchange, we have done a major redesign of it so that it will be easier to search for plugins, easier for you to submit your plugin, and easier for other people to discover what you have created. So with this redesign that we have done, we're aiming to promote the development of Check plugins, and you submit your packages on the Checkmk Exchange so that we can showcase what are the things that community members do to expand the features of Checkmk. So what is our takeaway in this part 1 of our Reactivating the Community plan? So we think that it was a good decision. So we now think, what should we do next? So part 2 would be the events part. So last year, we have done our first Checkmk meetup here in Munich, and we have also participated in FOSDEM. So we have this initiative to look for community and industry conferences which would be relevant for the community. So we did that in FOSDEM. So we might have seen some of you guys at FOSDEM. It was really great. It was such a great response, and we feel that these are the types of people that we're looking for. We found our people in events such as FOSDEM. So after this experiments that we have started last year, so we thought about what's next. Now, we thought that in order for us to move forward, we have to set up the foundation of our community in order to do further outreach. So we would need to figure out how do we create a foundation that would make us ready to scale, ready for more people to join us, and not just recruit them to join us, but obviously to support them and make sure that they have a great experience as a Checkmk contributor. So we started with that by looking within ourselves. So we thought that one important thing in thinking about how we do community in Checkmk would be to first look how open would us in Chapter 29, how open do we want to be with our community members? So we have some thoughts that we have established that we think would help in this goal. So one would be sharing and discussing our product roadmap with a broader audience. So this is something that we usually do after the conference. We share the product roadmap, but then we need to figure out how we broadly do that, and also participate discussion around this, more open, more wide open, and not just to those to a small group who has access to this information. So for this case, we will continue doing that, and we will improve what we have done in the previous conference with how we share our roadmap. So this will be done post-conference. And another one would be offering the community the tools to contribute to the project. So this is the big chunk that we will discuss in the community strategy for this year. So we will this is a big discussion that is set for later. Another one that we think would make us more open in Tribe 29 would be product progression and having a discussion on them. So it's not just about sending out our product updates and then it will just look like an FYI email for you guys. So, but also having a discussion around it. So with this, we thought of adding the product updates on the forum. So it will now be available in the forum for discussion so that we can also discuss about all these product updates and not just us almost just like giving an FYI. So now let's talk about how we plan to do the community strategy for this year. So when we were thinking about the community strategy for this year, we thought of the types of people who are engaged with Checkmk, with the Checkmk community. So what type of contributor are you guys? So if you think that you can relate to one of these contributor types, so just let us know in the chat box, just to give a shout out if you are this type of person. So first, we have the community support contributors. So these are the people who are very knowledgeable about Checkmk, who are Checkmk rock stars, who love to help other people. So they're motivated to help beginners with how they set up Checkmk, with the troubles that they encounter, and not just give answers and end there, but actually dig into their problems and help them reach a solution. So you can see most of their activities, and it was in the mailing list before and now in the forum. So they are our most active contributors right now. So if you identify as a community support contributor, just give us a shout out there on the chat box. And you are a rock star. We love you so much. So for you guys, we have some plans this 2020. So one plan would be to give better support and recognition. So we think that you have contributed so much, and we need to figure out ways how we can show our appreciation, how we can show that you are valuable to us. So these are things that we are continuously learning and improving on. So it's good that in the forum, there are ways to recognize contributors. It can be through badges. It can be through the statistics of how many solutions have you given to other contributors. So now it's getting better. We have the systems in place, and we want to continue learning on how we can show appreciation to you. So if you have any ideas, so you can also add it to the chat box there. And we also have another project that we are still under early evaluation for. So the knowledge base project. So we think that we have the capacity now to work on this thing. And we think that this could be a potential contribution project for people who are into community support. So this is still under evaluation, and we will let you know our progress on this one. And we can discuss on the fireside chat what would this possibly look like. Next is those non-code contributors. So they're the people who are motivated to make Checkmk a great product. So they're the ones who help with the reporting of bugs, giving some feedback, taking time to give feedback, and making Checkmk available in their own language. So for this type of contribution, so if you are this type of contributor, this is the thing that you would expect us to work on in this year. So first, our goal is to enable you to make Checkmk available in your language. So for this, we have a tool under evaluation, and we have to also plan the workflow around this one. And of course, we will update you in the forum in any way possible whenever we have updates on this one. So if this is something interesting to you, so then let us know in the chat box so that we will know, we will have an idea on who are the people who are interested in this. Because specifically in non-code contribution, this is something new to us. This is something that we would like to experiment, and we have seen the potential with you contributors that this is something that you also wanted. Contributions to the documentation and handbook. So this is a thing that I think I've seen some discussions around early today. So I think this is certainly something interesting for a lot of us here and in the conference. So we start planning this by the end of the year, along with the new website. So we're planning our new website, and this the handbook will also be affected by that. So one theme of our plan for this is to make the handbook open source, or in some way that people can contribute articles and give feedback easily, so that we can create a great handbook for everyone. So next, we have the code contributors. So I think majority of you guys fall into this as well. These are the ones who love building great products, contributing code to make Checkmk a great product. They are the ones who are sending pull requests. So these are our plans for you guys this year. First is the Checkmk Exchange. So we have redesigned the website already, and now we are improving the review process. And GitHub contributions, we have laid the foundations, and now we're continuing plans to improve collaboration with contributors on how we can figure out what we can do next, and then so that you can also be motivated to submit your own contributions. Another one is development guide. So with the Check API coming up, so I think this is something that we would really love to explore. So this is still under early evaluation, and we would love to hear what you guys think about it. Perhaps in the fireside chat later as well, we can dig into it on how will this possibly look like. Now, last but not least, we have the advocate. So these are the people who like spreading the word about Checkmk. So it can be by leaving reviews in review sites, or simply recommending it to a friend, or writing content about Checkmk. It can be a video, it can be a blog. So these are the advocates who are always out there telling the world how a great product Checkmk is. Now, if you're this type of contributor, so these are the things that are coming up for you, that we are planning for you. One is the Checkmk user groups. This has been all about before, but then we're right. With all of the situation right now, we cannot do physical events. So this might wait for a bit later this year. But then the idea would be to set up local groups of Checkmk communities in your area. And now that we have the forum, I think we can enable this, not just in Germany or not just in Europe, but perhaps also in other parts of the world, since we have lots of users around the globe now. Next is how we support the community advocates. So this is the one that we have seen from people, that they are writing content about Checkmk, or some people are reaching out to us, hey, I want to write a blog about Checkmk, can you support me on this? So we want to ensure that we're ready to provide you the materials that you need, the support that you need, in order to create this good technical content for yourself. So right, those are our plans for this year. So just as a next step, we will have a fireside chat later, so we can dig deep dive into these ideas that we have on how we can make this come through this year, and give your general feedback on how you can be provided a great contributor experience. And we also have this unlisted topic on the forum, so just visit this site. So it's only for conference attendees right now, so we can continue this discussion and this. If you cannot join the fireside chat later or participate in any way, feel free to give us all your thoughts there in the forum or in the fireside chat. Right. Thank you so much for listening.
So thanks, Faye, for all the explanations. I'm really glad what's happening here. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing what you created in such a short time. Mm-hmm. And I think it's perfectly the right direction to go. Let me see if we have some questions. Lance Tost asked something, and he writes, so being in the US, he's based in the USA, mm-hmm. I purchase and get support through a reseller. Sometimes I have had feedback, question for new checks, etc. The reseller relays them to dev, but I lose most visibility in the progress. Does Tribe 29 monitor and participate in discussions on the community forum, or is it strictly community members?
Oh, yeah, we participate in the community forum. So feel free to write your feedback there, and we will really jump in. Yeah.
Okay, so currently we have no further questions, but you have later the opportunity in the fireside chat. Mm-hmm. So thank you a lot for your being here today and for all the work you did. I'm looking forward to the future.
Thank you so much.
So goodbye, and we see us in a couple of minutes at 4:30 at 16:30. We will come to the next talk, which is myself and about the plans for the new user experience. So stay tuned and see you later.